Welcome to Pond Studios. Today we have an exciting new collection,
Urban Retreat.
Actually, this is the first global collection that we've designed for Interface. For the last 12 months, we really started to look at global trends. Economic, social, architecture, interiors, and colors. What are we selling globally? And also, most important, our top 50 global customers. What products are they buying around the world from Interface? Before we could even start designing a collection, first we had to have the supply chain. We had to make sure we had same equipment all over the world and also the same raw materials from our suppliers. So yet this is a global collection, but the most important, this is going to be made locally around the world. As far as trends, what we started to see, some really interesting social trends that are happening around the world. The next generation, and we've been talking about the millennials for actually the last couple of years and how they're affecting the workplace. One thing we found out, 88% of the millennials want to live in urban environments. We're starting to see this next generation is a generation of people that are more connected, they think alike, they act alike through social, technology, and even fashion. So we see this more similar trends than ever before coming from this next generation. The other major megatrend that we're starting to see is these urban environments getting bigger, mega cities. Now this is shifting our thinking as far as what's happening with our cities. If you start to take our cities and take a city like Chicago, you'll start to see reports like, are the millennials driving downtown corporate relocation? So we're starting to see these corporate campuses, which were in the suburbs, start to relocate downtown, where the new generation are wanting to live. So this is affecting the growth of our cities, especially in the Western world. And what we're starting to see also with our cities, all through the United States and even in Europe, the established cities are connecting with nature. What we're starting to see are gardening popping up in our urban environments. We're starting to see organic gardening, rooftop gardening, all through the United States and Europe. This is just an unbelievable global trend that we're trying to connect with nature. We're actually even seeing pop-up parks in New York City happen. The most successful, I think, of this is the High Line. An abandoned railroad turned into a park that wanders through Manhattan has been one of the most unbelievable successes of bringing nature to an urban environment. In the new growth in the BRIC countries, we're starting to see new construction with a blend of this natural design of trees, urban growth starting to be incorporated in actually the design of these new buildings, which is an unbelievable thing to see. If you take Singapore, for example, it's, you can't even see really a new construction going up that doesn't have something to do with bringing nature into the design of the buildings. And we are actually starting to see even more softer organic curves in our architecture. So what we're seeing is this connection with nature. In fact, here at Pond Studios, which was built in 1996, it was a real connection with nature. In fact, it was in the year 2000, it was voted in Business Week magazine as one of the top 5 offices to work in. And the most important thing was it was bringing nature indoors. The concept coined by Edward O. Wilson is biophilia. It's how we're, as our species, want to be connected with nature. If you kind of close your eyes and think of a great place to be, it usually takes you to the beach, the mountains, the desert. It takes you from artificial interiors. We kind of yearn to be in those environments. We're attracted to the colors, the designs, the change that happen in those environments. So we're even starting to see the study of, even from Terrapin Bright, the economics of biophilia, how this can actually make the difference in a hospital, a hotel, or even office. The interior finishes that we're starting to see brought into interiors now are really very natural. Natural colors, natural textures, wood, stone, natural materials. We're even starting to see so much what I call reclaimed materials. Reclaimed wood is so popular today. And again, it has that very natural feel that we kind of yearn for. It's something that we've also learned from biomimicry, which we've been studying now for nearly 15 years. And our first big inspiration was entropy. Random, diverse, all the colors are slightly different in texture, color, and design, which has been a huge success. But with new technology, which we have today, interface, we can bring this concept of organic random design to really its forefront now. And most of all, through also technology, we're starting to emulate nature as well in the design process. Products made now with 100% waste, which emulate nature's waste to food concept. Some of the inspiration in our designs came from a walk with Janine in Montana, looking at the colors in nature from tree bark to lichen, moss, stone. These were some of the inspirational pictures that started this collection. Another inspirational walk was in UK with our UK interface design team. And it was in the fall, and we started to see the connection with moss growing on the stone walls in Yorkshire. And we started to see an unbelievable beauty of nature and man coming together. These were the images that really inspired us for this collection, and to really get the natural colors of stone, really earth tone colors. And in fact, these colors from nature are probably the most accepted globally. It seems everybody can really connect with nature. So the first collection that we came out with was the series 101, 102, and 103. This collection, I think, is the most kind of exciting collection that brings nature indoors. We start with kind of the real random, diverse stone pattern. And then we have an exciting edge treatment that we can bring in color of nature indoors. And with this, you can start to create borders, accents with this little color of lichen, moss, and ivy. Bring just a touch of nature indoors. The second collection in Urban Retreat, Collection 2, this really, we've really tried to study texture, from tree bark to subtle woven textures, really trying to get more of the texture and natural colors into the interior. Again, colored in very neutral colors, but showing really interesting texture in the floor, really having a great feel from outside inside. The last collection, Urban Retreat Collection 3, this may be my favorite collection because it's so subtle, especially 301. This has so subtle changes. It's a random installation, but the color changes so subtly through the space. It gives you kind of what I call a monolithic look, but has very subtle random differences, but again, all in these beautiful neutral colors. And lastly, the most important, I think, from the collection is the mixing of these textures. All these coordinate in the same 8-color family, so they can be mixed and used together. You can really start to make some beautiful, exciting installations by mixing these textures throughout the interior. And I think this is where the designer can really start to play and have fun with this collection. And especially with bringing the edge, the moss, you can bring as much of the lichen and green and ivy into your interior. So thanks for listening, and I hope you enjoy this new collection. And yes, we'll be adding to this really soon. So look forward for some new introductions for our global products. Thank you.